This week's winner and loser in the stock market. First, the loser is InterviewSummer PLC. They're headquartered in Virginia. They develop, manufacture, and sell buprenorphine-based prescription drugs for the treatment of opioid dependence. INDV started the week at $15.10 and then ran all the way down to $8.64 on Tuesday. The drop happened after the company announced a downward revision of its profit forecast for the year while it stopped selling its schizophrenia drug, Perseris. 52-week high of $24.90, 52-week low of $8.64. And the winner is Morphic Holding, that's M-O-R-F. They are headquartered in Massachusetts, and they are a biopharmaceutical company which researches and develops oral small molecule integrin therapeutics. MORF opened the week at $32.47 and shot up the same day to $56.50. This was on the news that Eli Lilly will be acquiring MORF for $3.2 billion. 52-week high of $62.08, 52-week low of $19.35. Visit arbitragetrade.com and learn about Pips, our AI bot, to let you stop watching and start living. We're not financial advisors. We provide an AI bot algorithm service.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, ride your bike.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, smile big and bright.
Thousands of kids just like me are happy every day.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is able to make an everyday miracle happen for kids like me.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, take a shot.
Because of you.
We are happy and we know it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please go to loveshriners.org right away.
Hi, Caroline.
Hello.
You know what?
What?
You know what season it is?
What?
It's summer.
It is.
When's my vacation? I keep waiting for that thing.
Right?
But you've introduced in your blog this week a list of summer reading, a recommended summer reading, and it's the summertime for students and teachers, so you're supposed to put all books down and not look at another one till, what, August?
Oh, no.
Oh!
No, when I was a teacher, now, granted, I taught math.
Yes.
But when I was a teacher, summer is when I really got my books read because I had more free time.
And there's no due dates and tests.
Not when you're an adult.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Do the kids have to test and stuff? Oh,
and
due dates.
At some schools, yeah. Like
wow, what is this, Japan?
Within the first couple days back, they'll have summer reading
or
tests.
China? There's like, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
12 months.
I had that when I was in high school.
12 months of school?
Yeah, I had like 4 or 5 books I had to read every summer.
Wow, a bunch of kids going to need therapy. So Teacher Hollis, you have some books that you can read while relaxing on the beach or poolside. At least you can make it kind of fun, I guess.
Right.
Sitting under a tree in the shade. I don't know. I'm not really a reader.
Oh, no.
I like to have it fed to me because you know I like to do voiceover, so I like to, I guess, have someone read it to me.
That's still reading. That's still enjoying a book.
Sort of, yeah, I guess so. Thanks for saying that anyway. But this list, reading through it, kind of makes me want to be.
Oh, good.
I just might wait for the book on tape.
For the audiobook, yes.
Audiobook, yes. Wow, I just showed my age. Book on tape. So books spur your imagination and creativity. It keeps your mind sharp throughout the summer.
Yes.
And kind of like crossword puzzles, which I do like to do.
Oh, good. Okay, that's
so another thing that keeps your mind sharp.
Yes.
As you get older. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to let you do the talking mostly for once.
Okay.
Shut my mouth up. And we're going to go down your list. So the first one that you had for us is All the Broken Places by John Boyne, I guess is how you say it. And when I was looking at the description, it's like an escape from Sound of Music or something. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, a little bit of that. And I will say as a disclaimer, I looked up Amazon's best-selling books so far for the year, and I picked 5 fiction books for this.
There
so
we go.
I have not read these yet, but several of these have gone on my to-be-read list.
Nice. Okay.
So...
Well,
so All the Broken Places, it follows the life of a 91-year-old woman who's living in London, and she was the daughter of a Nazi commander from a concentration camp.
That's where the Sound of Music came
Yes,
in my head.
yes, with Germany, yes, and all that. And then living in this apartment building, she encounters a troubled family, and so it's kind of about those interactions between her and this family. And I was reading some of the reviews for these books to kind of get a feel for it. And John Irving, one of the reviewers, said, "You can't prepare yourself for the magnitude and emotional impact of this powerful novel."
Wow.
So this might not be one of those light beach reads, but it sounds like it's still going to be a really good story.
Yeah, emotional impact. Yeesh.
Yeah, just be prepared.
Keep it light for the beach.
Yes.
Let's do some far-off fantasy novels. Oh, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Yes.
All right, so the second one is The Lost Bookshop.
Yes.
By Evie Woods, and this one is interpersonal relationships in a bookstore.
Yes. Set in Dublin. We're kind of over, I guess, in the UK right now with London, and then this one's in Dublin. But these three main characters, they each have their own struggles, as we all do, but they find a way that their lives are kind of intertwined within the stories that are coming from this bookshop. I couldn't get a whole lot of details without reading some that said there were spoilers, and I didn't want to spoil it.
Gotcha.
But one of the people who commented, an Amazon reviewer, said, "I loved all the details in the story. The last few chapters had some shocking twists that left me speechless."
Oh.
And I personally do not like books that just, you can kind of see the ending after the first three chapters.
Right.
So I like the fact that there's going to be some twist coming at the end.
I do like that too. Sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes they do.
Right.
So sometimes they make me mad. Sometimes they make me glad. So.
Right. But I don't want to be bored as I read the last 80% of a book.
Right,
so
just
I
stay
like
in suspense most of the time. Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
So let's move on to number 3. And it's The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley. Or Kellyanne, I don't know, one of the two. And my note on that one was time travel and a good base for a movie.
Yes, it does sound like it could be a good movie. This is set in near future London, and it follows, I thought this was interesting, an unnamed civil servant. And so they're just kind of going more with the titles. This protagonist's role is to act as a bridge between expats from different timelines and stories in history who would not have survived their original timelines, and kind of bridging between those worlds and those timelines. So that sounded kind of interesting to me.
Yes.
A Washington Post book reviewer said, "Imagine if the time traveler's wife had an affair with a gentleman in Moscow." So that kind of gives you an idea of some of the feeling of the book.
So this book is a baby of those two.
Apparently, yes.
Right.
Yes.
I see they named it. So let's move on to number 4, which is Just James.
James, yes.
By Percival Everett. And my comment on that one is Mark Twain, Huckleberry Finn reimagined. I love it already.
Okay.
That's all I need.
So, no offense, but Mark Twain was never my favorite author growing up, and it could go back to...
You're not a true Southerner then.
Well, it could go back to 7th grade required summer reading. We had to read one of his books and take a test on it the first day of school, so that might have kind of jaded me a little bit.
Oh, therapy was needed.
Yes, maybe next week. But this book, I thought it was really interesting because the author took Jim from Adventures of Huck Finn,
right,
and retold the story from his perspective, and he goes by James.
Okay.
In this book, so it's kind of, it should have, I haven't read it yet, but it should have kind of some of those same stories, but just told from a different perspective. So taking a classic like Huck Finn that a lot of people have read, that you kind of know the story of, but then hearing it told from a different perspective, I think that'd be a really interesting
from the one
read.
character,
right?
As long as it's not a rewrite or revisionist,
right.
Which I hate. It's like, start a new novel. Don't mess up an old one. But that's interesting to see.
Right.
What they decided to do here.
Right. So I'm looking forward to reading that one.
Right. So and then give it to your students to read.
As a math teacher,
that's
yes.
right. All right. So or your son, which you'll talk about later.
Yes.
The 5th one, last one, is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros.
Yes.
And this is what I aforementioned, which was a fantasy romance. So I always think of animation and not real people. I just think of like animated characters.
Right.
I don't know why, but I do. And this is Dragon Riders in Survival.
Yes. So kind of in a military college.
Which everybody loves.
Right. And I mean,
Almost.
well, especially my son loves dragons. So this one stuck out to me as well. And also, one of my friends loves to read. She is the most voracious reader I know. And every month, on the last day of the month, on her personal blog, she posts the books she has read during that month. It's always 4 or 5 at least. and she rates them, gives them stars. And Fourth Wing was one of her books last month, and she gave it was either 4.5 or 5 stars.
Wow.
So this one was already on my list before I went to write this blog post, but it was also one of Amazon's bestsellers. So Fourth Wing is the first book in the trilogy. So if you like it, there's 2 more to continue on the story.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of several movies that have been out lately. So
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, let's take advantage of the whole Dragon Rider and
Yes.
Dragon Slayer, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Theme that's out there, that's been out there for a few years now. And, you can't beat Dragons, War, Passion, and Power.
Right. I mean, that's what it all boils down to.
That's right. So you shared with me that you also have started a book.
Yes.
And your son as well, very intelligent son, is also starting one or has done one. He has his own list then, right? That he's supposed to do?
Yeah, well, not in elementary school.
Okay.
I did ask his teacher for some recommendations of books that would be good.
And he's not angry at you?
No, because he doesn't have to take a test on it.
That's right.
But I asked he just finished 3rd grade, and so I asked his 3rd grade teacher what would be some good books, his ELA teacher. And so she gave a few recommendations, and then I have a friend who teaches at a middle school, so she asked her librarian what would be some good books. He loves Harry Potter, he loves Percy Jackson, what are some books that he would like. So he has started a series. He's on the 4th book now. He started the Artemis Fowl series. And I want to say, don't quote me on this, I want to say it was Disney Plus, but someone's doing a show or a movie based on it. I don't remember exactly which, but that'll be coming up. But he has loved the books. It has their own little alphabet, like their little
code, or what?
Kind of like a code. It's not all over the book, but I haven't read them. But at some point throughout the book, it uses this code. So he started writing notes to his friends in code because they've all read the book, and it has the little code at the back of what the letters are. So he's really enjoyed kind of doing that with it.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So what about Mom?
So one of my favorite authors is Brandon Sanderson.
Okay.
He's got a lot of amazing books. And he had a secret project that he started on during the pandemic, and there was a Kickstarter campaign to get it actually into the books. It's actually 4 books in this series, but I started the first one just a few days ago. It was called Tress, Tress. That's the name of the main character. So yeah, Brandon Sanderson, I recommend all of his stuff. He has some young adult stuff. My son has loved what he's read from him, and then when he gets older, he'll have some of the adult stuff as well.
Wow, that's awesome. So maybe people will listen to this and feel like they need to read something this summer.
Go to your library, go to your local bookstore. I do try to support local. I said, I have an Amazon list, but that's just more for me to keep up with what I'm looking for.
Sure.
But I do try to go support our local independent bookstores and libraries as well.
Okay. I mean, heck knows the way the world's going right now. We need an escape for sure.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And so that's another reason I wanted to choose fiction. Some of the nonfiction ones that I saw felt a little heavy.
Yes.
So hopefully these
light.
Yes.
Light and easy. All right. Well, I appreciate you bringing this in, and hopefully some folks will have some direction now on what they can read on the beach and by the pool.
Absolutely. Whether it's audiobook, ebook, actual book, just get in some reading.
I appreciate you reaching out to me on that last little bit there. All right.
It's true.
Have a good weekend, Caroline.
Y'all too.
My name's Stacy. I'm 57, and I was adopted in 2020.
We were adopted in 2019.
And we were adopted in 2021.
We had a house. And it sounds crazy, but it wasn't a home. The one thing that Jake and Emma brought is it became a home.
When I met Dakota, he had just turned 14.
You weren't there for the first this and the first that. I missed the first words, but we got a lot of other firsts.
Watching her say, oh my God, I cannot believe I got my license. And she's like, I passed. And I'm like, girl.
See them grow. It is.
They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
You and you. Kids in the middle.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete, but it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
This week's winner and loser in the stock market. First, the loser is InterviewSummer PLC. They're headquartered in Virginia. They develop, manufacture, and sell buprenorphine-based prescription drugs for the treatment of opioid dependence. INDV started the week at $15.10 and then ran all the way down to $8.64 on Tuesday. The drop happened after the company announced a downward revision of its profit forecast for the year while it stopped selling its schizophrenia drug, Perseris. 52-week high of $24.90, 52-week low of $8.64. And the winner is Morphic Holding, that's MORF. They are headquartered in Massachusetts, and they are a biopharmaceutical company which researches and develops oral small molecule integrin therapeutics. MORF opened the week at $32.47 and shot up the same day to $56.50. This was on the news that Eli Lilly will be acquiring MORF for $3.2 billion. 52-week high of $62.08, 52-week low of $19.35. Visit arbitragetrade.com and learn about Pips, our AI bot, who lets you stop watching and start living. We're not financial advisors. We provide an AI bot algorithm service. Thank you for joining us today for another edition of Arbitrage Weekend News. Log into arbitragetrade.com to read our wide variety of blogs and educate yourself on Trade Assist and Forex trading, or even how to make passive money with our Trade Assist affiliate marketer program. You can even get to know our cute little AI bot called Pips. Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC, please visit arbitragetrade.com.